Well, we're still continuing with New Japan Pro Wrestling's latest Best of the Super Juniors World Tag League. We're also going to add the latest episode by Ring of Honor. So there's a little twist for all of you guys, but doesn't matter. All of that will be discussed and talked and reviewed on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it talks about pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, many promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host Jay Rod. So let's jump right into the latest Best of the Super Juniors tournament and the World Tag League. First, let's do Best of the Super Juniors. Uh, let's just skip the opening match because it's the same old story. We don't need to talk about it that much. First match of that is Yuya Uemura versus the current champion Taiji Shimori. Now, if you guys can guess right away, do you think a young lion has a chance in the world to face a guy like Taiji Shimori? The answer to that is no. Not because I say so, because there's facts. Yuya Uemura is a young lion. But it is what it is. So Taiji actually won this match. So he advanced with 2 points. Next match, we have Bushi versus Robbie Eagles. Now, this is a few times that I've been hearing about. Robbie Eagles has confronted Bushi on certain occasions, either as a single competitor or tag team competitor. But this time, Bushi had the upper hand against Robbie Eagles. So basically, it wouldn't make any difference. But of course, Robbie Eagles doesn't forget things like this. And hopefully, there'll be a rivalry between those two somewhere down the line. But we'll just wait and see. So Bushi, on the other hand, gets 2 points out of this match. The next match, we have Doiki of Suzuki-gun facing off against Hiromu Takahashi. Now, this is one of those intense matches you cannot ignore. Because A, these two are in similar styles. These guys spent much of their excursion time in Mexico. They both came from the same type of bread that many people do. But however, in this particular match, who you think has the upper hand? Well, that was a very good question. So it turned out it was Hiromu Takahashi who took this victory. Even though when he said after his match he respects Doiki because they're both in the same kind of bread, but however, things have to move on. So Hiromu gets 2 points out of this one. I'll discuss more at the point-based system on this one later on. Next match, we have Ryosuke Taguchi versus Sho. Now, these two are familiarized with each other. It was Taguchi who helped Sho and Yoa Roppongi 3K to move surpass with their little funk last year, losing the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. But this time, you get to see the Sho doesn't play around whatsoever, even though he knows what's at stake. Not only that, he's self-aware about his injury that he obtained since the start of the tournament. And of course, the one thing that led to another. Sho beat Taguchi with his pants down. Yeah, his pants down. So basically, joke's on Taguchi. So basically, Sho gets 2 points in this particular match. Now let's jump into the main event. It's El Desperado versus Master Wato. Now, this was one of those matches I had to watch because Master Wato, he is new to this. This is his first time being in the best of the Super Juniors. Desperado's been in this tournament on few occasions, but however, this was no different whatsoever. and it was an amazing match seeing Master Wato taking on against Desperado. But the real question is, who gets the better hand? El Desperado, who's been in this tournament before, and versus the newcomer? Well, the answer to that is Master Wato. And of course, because it was an upset in this match, Desperado didn't take it too well. He tried to beat him, but however, he was confronted by Master Wato's mentor, Tenzan, who's always been by his corner every match that he's ever been in. So I was so basically that's how it ends with this tournament. Master Wato get 2 points. I will talk more about the point system on this one in a little bit. So let's jump in with World Tag League. Okay, so it's World Tag League time. So I'm gonna skip the opening match because it's the same old story, same old story. First match we have Bullet Club, Chase Owens, and the Rogue General Balak Fale versus Finn Juice Robinson, and David Finlay. Now, you could expect that somehow in this particular match, Finn Juice gets the upper hand because A, they were last year's winners, and two, they have experience in this tag team tournament. But however, this match did not go exactly how I thought. I was a bit of surprise, but however, I learned that it should happen. It was about to sooner happen. The winners for this particular match one is none other than Owens and Fale. So they finally get their first victory in this tournament. So basically, this they could be amongst the smaller number of teams that could not advance further. It all depends, but we'll see how that goes when we get maybe to the halfway point. Next match we have Bullet Club, Yujiro Takahashi, and Evil, along with Master Spoiler Dick Togo versus Toa Hanare and the Ace uh, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, you could expect in this particular match that Evil and Yujiro would win it because they have been dominant since the start of the tournament. But however, in this particular match, it was the opposite, similar to the first match. In this match, you have Toa Hanare and Hiroshi Tanahashi gaining their first victory. Somehow they were able to overcome the uh, the sneak attack by Master Spoiler Dick Togo, and this time they get their first victory in this tournament. But however, they're still a bit far behind from the others. So we just gotta wait and see when we reach the half point mark. Match 3, we have the God, Tamatonga and Tangaloa versus Chaos members Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano. Now, this is one of those interesting matches where anything can go because A, we know the God has been one of the best tag teams in the tournament before, but however, you have to be careful with a guy like Toru Yano, who is a master trickster. He knows how to fool people, but however, much of it, halfway through it, it didn't go into Toru Yano's favor, but they were able to win. Well, they did. Somehow they were able to overcome it, allowing Yano and Ishii to win this match. Of course, Tamatonga and Tangaloa were a bit surprised that they lost that way, even though the ref didn't see Yano getting away with the low blow, but it happened. So they get 2 points out of this one. Next match, we have the Empire, the Great Khan, and Jeff Cobb facing off against the Dangerous Takers, which is Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, in this particular match, I have no clue how this was going to go. I was a bit biased because I do picture the Empire being a good team. They have been dominant at most part. But however, the Dangerous Takers, who are currently the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Teams champions, they could win it too. So basically, it was a 50-50 chance. But however, I was more interesting how the Great Khan was going to pull this one off. Now, you've seen what he's capable of when he takes on when he took on Okada. How could he overstand guys like this? Like, how can is he able to take on both Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr.? But however, they both were able to overcome his powerness, his aggressiveness, allowing themselves to win the victory. So it was not only like a good match, but it was also the biggest shocker that they're able to beat a team that so far has been dominant, but so far they haven't won any gold just yet. Which Tai Chi would say that they're a bunch of punks. They don't deserve a title, whatever. They're brand new. They don't deserve anything. That's Tai Chi would say. But if I were you, Tai Chi, I would be careful not to say that in front of Khan because he'll eat you up. Now let's get to the main event. We got Chaos members Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto versus Los Ingobernables de Japón, Sanada and Shingo Takagi. This was also another good match because, like any other match we've seen with the Lij, especially with Sanada when he was with Evil, they've always shown their dominance. But however, now we're seeing a new type of dominance with the combination between both Sanada and Takagi. And it kind of shows these guys are determined to win regardless. Even though Takagi has said before that this is his first time being in it. But he knows he has to do what he can to overcome whatever obstacles come. And I was so happy it was Lij that won this match. So they get the 2 points on this one. So let's jump in right now with the point system. Okay, so let's talk about the point system, wins and losses in the Best of Super Juniors first. We have Hiromu with a total points of 6 points with 3 wins and 1 loss. Sho, 3 wins and 1 loss with total points of 6. Ryusuke Taguchi, 2 wins and 2 losses. Robbie Eagles, 2 wins and 2 losses, 4 points. Same thing with Taguchi. Master Wato, 3 wins and 1 loss with 6 points. Taiji Ishimori, 3 wins and 1 loss, 6 points. Bushi with the wins of 2 and 2 losses, 4 points. El Desperado, 2 wins and 2 losses with the total points of 4. So far, the ones who are unable to pick up any victories is none other than Doiki and Yuya Umura. So basically, the ones who have 6 points, like Umuro, uh, uh, Himuru Takahashi, Sho, Mr. Wato, and Taiji Shimuri. These 4 could most likely go all the way. It's possible, but don't count the ones that are still currently in their 4 points gig. So we still got a little bit to go on this tournament. So do I see any of these 4 individuals winning? I could. Now Taiji Shimuri, if he wins the entire tournament, he decides who he wants to face. So that I would definitely see. Now let's jump in with World Tag League. We have the Dangerous Takers, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi with the total with 3 wins and 2 losses, 6 points. Bullet Club members Yujiro Takahashi Evil with 3 wins and 2 losses, 6 points. Chaos members Tomohiro Ishii and Yano with 3 wins and 2 losses, total points of 6. The Empire, the Great Okan and Jeff Cobb, 3 wins and 2 losses with the total points of 6. Chaos members Goto and Yoshihashi with 1 win and 4 losses. So they're the ones partially at the bottom of the totem pole on this one. We have Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, the GOD, with 3 wins and 2 losses with 6 points. We got Lij members Shingo Takagi and Sanada with the total points of 4 wins and 1 loss with total points of 8. So far they are currently in the lead in the tournament. So they could most likely get all the way. But like I said, this is one of those tournaments anything could change. We have Tanahashi and Hanara with 1 win and 4 losses. So they are also in the bottom. They may or may not be able to advance. We have Chase Owens and Balak Fale with 1 win and 4 losses with the total points of 2. There also could be in that predicament. Then we got Juice Robinson and Finley with total point with 2 wins and 3 losses. So practically that's what they're going on. So some of these guys can't even, like I said, Lij is currently in the lead, but anything could happen throughout this tournament. So all we got to do is wait and see what happens next. So right now, I'm done with the New Japan stuff. Let's jump in with Ring of Honor. Okay, so I'm doing Ring of Honor. I normally don't do this when I do a New Japan stuff. Well, I decided to throw it in because I did not want to miss this one because I watched it recently and I decided, why not? Let's just do it. What do I got to lose? First match of the night is EC3 versus Jay Briscoe. Now, this is one of those matches that took place from a week ago. As you know, EC3 was on the shoulders of the Briscoes. Jay Briscoe did not appreciate what was going on, so this match was set. Now, we don't know what goes on in EC3's head. He tried to extend ahead, but Briscoe, he's not having it. The match ended with a disqualification with Jay Briscoe not following directions with the ref. But all of a sudden, he continues to beat on EC3. But there was a moment where EC3 had his back turned, like he was offering himself as a sacrificial lamb to Jay Briscoe. So basically, we don't know what EC3 is thinking or what he's planning, but it wasn't like this is something bizarre how it is. But we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks with these two individuals. Now the next match, it first started out with the video package between um, LSG, who was a member of the tag team known as Coast to Coast, now breaking on his own as a singles competitor, facing off one of the best singles competitors in the entire business. We're talking about Jay Lethal, who is one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions and also former World Champion himself. This was something really good to watch. The match was amazing. It did show LSG actually succeeding as a singles competitor, but however, it ended with a time limit draw. But the judges made the choices who win. It was Jay Lethal. Now, Jay Lethal did not like how this ended. He would have loved to go longer. Same thing with LSG. So, do I think that we could have an opportunity to see these two face off again? The answer to that, hope so. I would love to see that. I would love to see these two face off. Now, the main event, this was much of a revenge match with Bateman, who is part of the faction known as Righteous, led by former member of the Kingdom, Vinny, facing off against Matt Taven. The match was Matt Taven wants to get his hands on Vinny for a long time to get payback for betraying him, but he has to go through Bateman. And exactly that's what he did. He went through Bateman, he beat him, but however, this was not over. Bateman beat him down, but he was visited by Vincent, who was about to throw him a sharp dart right into him. Lights turns out, to the surprise, a former member of the Kingdom returned. And I'm talking about Mike Bennett. He is back. And now he's teaming with his longtime friend, Matt Taven. Now, because of this, there are people that are speculating, are we going to see the Kingdom reunite? Well, the question to that, we don't know. I would love to see the Kingdom reunite, but we just got to wait and see what happens next. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode of me talking about the New Japan stuff and Ring of Honor. But the next video will be Tuesday Wrestling, which is today. So I must bid all of you guys adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.